Hi, Dave Jones here again. We're going to look at a beginner song today. This one's called Wild Thing. I'm sure you've all heard it before. No song's easy when you first start playing guitar, but this is one of the easier ones, quite easy to remember, and we'll go through it slowly in a minute. It uses three chords: A major, D major, and E major. If you don't know these, they're up on the site, but basically the A chord is fingers 1, 2 and 3 on the D, G and B strings respectively at the 2nd fret. I'll go to a close-up in a minute. And the D chord, fingers 1 and 2 on the G and E strings at the 2nd fret, finger 3 on the B string at the 3rd fret, and the E chord, finger 1 on the G string at the 1st fret, and fingers 2 and 3 on the A and D strings at the 2nd fret. Very famous song, covered by Jimi Hendrix, but made famous by the Troggs originally. And it's a repeating sequence all the way through the song of the A chord, D, E, D. So A, D, E, D. And relatively simple with the strumming, so it's a good song to get your chords up to speed because you don't have to concentrate too much on the strumming with this one. You can get away with just 2 downstrokes on each chord. So on the A chord, use D, E, D. So I, D, E, D. And that's the whole song, all the way through, just those chords, except for, there's a little spoken bit in the middle, the Wild Thing, I Think I Love You bit, which is, basically, you play the D, G and B strings, which you're holding down for the A chord, open, then you put your fingers on the A chord, then open, and then on the A chord again. So in the spoken bit, it says, Wild Thing, I Think I Love You. And then carries on, I think it's I Want to Know For Sure, but then, so it's open, on, like that. And then you're just back into the A, D and E thing again. Relatively easy song. I mean, you don't have to keep that strumming pattern going throughout. As you get more used to it, you can put the odd upper stroke in. Make it sound a bit more exciting. And if we just go to a little close-up here, just of the fingers, I just want to show you how to, a good idea of changing between chords. I'll show you now. We'll go to a little close-up. Okay, when you're changing between chords, this is for all beginners out there, and it's a good, whatever chords you're using, it's a good idea to look for this. Sometimes you can find your fingers stay, one finger or 2 finger might stay exactly where it is. In this case, with the A, D and E chords in the Wild Thing, all your fingers move, so that makes it a little bit more difficult to change between the chords, but try and look for any fingers that might stay in the same place. For example, when I go from this A chord, first chord in it, to the D chord, finger 3, although it moves, it stays on the same string. So try and get the idea of sliding it forward and then adding your other 2 fingers. So that's A chord, leave your finger on, slide it forward, add the other fingers. Two reasons for this. One is, obviously, if it doesn't have to move, if it can stay on the same string, you don't have to take it off because you've got to try and put it back on again. If you're new to chord changing, that's a very difficult thing to do. But the other thing is, it tends to encourage the fact that you're leaving that finger where it is. I'm exaggerating this at the moment, but because you're leaving that finger where it is, it tends to encourage you to keep the other fingers relatively close to the fingerboard, which helps when changing between the chords. And then when you go from the D chord to the E chord, again, all your fingers move, but this finger, finger 1, on the 2nd fret of the G string, moves back to the 1st fret of the G string, but on the same string. So try and get this movement going here. So you're going D chord, leaving the finger on, sliding it back, E chord. And it just might help you with the changes. So in the song you're going I to D, G, D to E, and then back to D again. So again, finger can stay on the same string. So your E chord, back to D. So great song to learn for those of you who want to just start your chord playing, and good luck with that, and I'll see you again.